Racing is quite often a family affair.
It is Austin Dillon out front at Daytona.
As they go barreling into the first turn.
Just as close as brothers could possibly be. Using lessons learned from his father.
Is a new world record.
You did just exactly what you had to do.
Exactly like you told me all along, Dad.
What a day it was for the Labantes.
So it's a happy crew with the Petty name on their back.
What a family.
Keselowski scores the victory.
It's Richard Petty.
There's the kid to watch.
That's one great race.
Can a rookie win it? And there's a fight.
Checkered flag.
Jimmy Jones, champion for the 6th time.
Lee Petty.
Welcome to the list of NASCAR's famous families. Family. They are seen in the grandstands, in the boardroom, and on the racetrack. Family is what NASCAR is founded on and founded by. We're about to take a look at the fathers and sons, the brothers and sisters, the generations that generate NASCAR's most memorable moments. Blood bonds that have driven this sport and driven competition into the 7th decade of America's most popular motorsport. Here's number 10.
This is the famous team of the Flock brothers. I guess you'd call us famous. Well,
From a brood of 8, the colorful Flock family was a fixture at NASCAR's earliest races and helped write the first chapters of its history. Bob, Tim, and Fonte are the only 3 brothers to win a Premier Series race, and their sister Ethel raced as well.
what's your mother think about all this? Well, my mother's got gray hair. Well, I don't wonder.
They're wonderful, aren't
Do
they?
you?
Yeah, I just keep my fingers crossed.
Fonte was a lively character who won modified division championships.
Fonte Flock and 14 in the lead as they go barreling into the first turn with everything turned on.
He claimed 19 Top Series wins, including the Southern 500.
Fonte won the 500 here in short pants.
Tim Flock in 91 is Monty Flock's younger brother. Monty says Tim is a better, smoother driver. There's Tim heading into the home stretch. And brother Monty Flock congratulates Tim as he gets the checkered flag.
Tim's outstanding career landed him a place in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. One of the sport's first fan favorites, was also a 2-time champion, winning 39 career races.
Tim Flock, twice NASCAR national champion, and his brother, mechanic Bob Flock.
Here's Tim on his car, checkered flags. One for each victory. More victories in 1 year than any driver in NASCAR history.
But there was also a Flock of a different feather, sort of. Fur-covered, fire-suit-wearing Jocko Flocko earned as much attention as his 2014 Hall of Fame co-pilot. And to this day, Jocko is remembered as a fond member of the Flock family. Number 9. From NASCAR's very first Premier Series race, Buck Baker made his presence known.
Buck Baker takes the bit between his feet and starts a terrific run.
Buck Baker in 89 shows magnificent form, trying to take the lead.
Buck Baker, fastest in the field.
46 wins was noteworthy, but perhaps more impressive was Buck's claim as NASCAR's first back-to-back champion. His 1956 and 1957 seasons represent a landmark in the sport's history.
It's Buck Baker blazing by the checkered flag, the winner.
He's grimy and dog-tired. The crowd closes in on him in tribute to a game driver who stuck to it. Proud wife Margaret stands beside him.
The cool charisma that signified the style of Buck Baker carried down to the next generation, as his son Buddy began a storied racing career in 1959. As hard as Buck fought to define the early days of stock car racing, Buddy scrapped equally hard to etch his own place in the ranks of racing greatness.
And Buddy Baker wins his first big race.
How about this? The speed, ladies and gentlemen, is a new world record. And there's the first place man. Baker is streaking around to win this race, and it will be the fastest race in history.
Beyond their racing careers, Buck and Buddy lived to expand the appeal of racing and became one of 4 father-son combos nominated for NASCAR's Hall of Fame.
It is Austin Dillon out front at Daytona. You got it! And Terry Labonte has become the champion.
We continue the list of the 10 most famous families in NASCAR history. Picking up at number 8. While Earnhardt made the number famous, the 3 belongs to Richard Childress, who began his career recording nearly 300 starts in the driver's seat.
Richard Childress, the number 3 Chevrolet, enjoying the best season of his career.
But Childress saw his strength in the front office, calling the shots for one of NASCAR's most dominant organizations.
Earnhardt holds him off to win the race and knock down his 7th championship.
Kevin Harvick scoring the 200th NASCAR win for Richard Childress Racing.
In 2014, the iconic number 3 was back on the track, piloted by Richard's grandson, Austin Dillon.
It is Austin Dillon out front at Daytona.
Austin is a purebred racer. His father, Mike, was a race car driver before stepping into management with his father-in-law. Now a 3rd generation is storming the stock car circuit.
Austin Dillon wins his first championship.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series champion is going to be Austin Dillon.
But not just with one talented youngster. Austin is joined by his brother Ty.
Ty Dillon grabs the checkered flag, his first ever Truck Series win.
Yeah! We did it!
Number 7. Darrell and Michael Waltrip are 2 of the most dynamic characters in NASCAR history. Michael Waltrip entered his 3rd decade in the sport, where he twice held the crown of Daytona 500 champion.
Come on, Mikey, you got it, man. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Daytona 500 victory lane.
When NASCAR began its modern era in 1972, there was one cocky Kentuckian poised to take the regional sport to a national crowd.
Pulling away is Waltrip. At the line, Darrell Waltrip wins by 12 car lengths.
Throughout his Hall of Fame career, Darrell Waltrip blistered the competition, on track and off.
You know, when it's your turn to win or your track, I guess you're just going to win no matter what. A lot of times we're not the fastest, but when the green flag comes out, we go to the front. Joe, how does it feel to be the biggest cheater here today?
Darrell's dominance yielded 3 NASCAR titles in the early 80s. And when he finally won the 500 in 1989, starting the Waltrip family's collection of 3 Daytona titles, there was no lack of excitement for the career-capping achievement.
I won the Daytona 500! I won the Daytona 500!
Number 6. Representing the state of Texas, the Labontes put up some big numbers in their NASCAR careers. Bobby's older brother Terry holds the slight edge in the record books. A man of few words, Terry preferred to let his racing do the talking.
Terry Labonte is like a robot. When he starts running a particular racetrack, he gets into a mode and he does not make many mistakes.
22 wins helped Terry gather 2 championships. One in 1984, another 12 years later.
Come on, champ! Come on, champ! Yes, sir!
The checkered flag comes out. Bobby Labonte wins the race, and Terry Labonte has become the 1996 NASCAR champion. What a day it was for the Labontes.
The 1996 season-ending win at Atlanta was one of Bobby's 21 victories. The biggest wins came at Indianapolis and Darlington, cementing his own championship in 2000, making the Labontes the only brothers to place NASCAR championships on the family mantle.
Super job there, Dale. I tell you, I'm really proud of you.
The leader of the Alabama gang, Bobby Allison. The legacy continues.
Welcome back to NASCAR The List. We've revealed half of the list of NASCAR's 10 most famous families. Here is number 5. This family's patriarch is a true Southern gentleman. Gentleman Ned Jarrett from Hickory, North Carolina, took a calm approach to racing and collected a cool 50 wins.
And there goes Ned Jarrett by taking the lead in this race.
There's Ned Jarrett taking the checkered flag.
By taking care of his car over the grueling miles of competition and months of races, Ned defined the character of a championship racer with titles in 1961 and 1965.
Driving steadily like the champion he is, Jarrett steps on out.
Oldest son Glenn was a driver before taking on an extensive broadcast career, and his brother Dale returned the Jarrett name to the record books. Following in the mold of Ned's Hall of Fame career, Dale Jarrett is a NASCAR champion whose 32 wins came in NASCAR's signature events.
Dale Jarrett has won the Brickyard 400.
But the standout family moment for the Hall of Fame father and son played out on national television, a touching exchange of mutual family admiration.
You know who I'm pulling for is Dale Jarrett. Bring her to the inside, Dale. Don't let him get down there. He's going to make it. Dale Jarrett's going to win the Daytona 500. All right. Super job there, Dale. I tell you, I'm really proud. You did just exactly what you had to do.
Exactly like you told me all along, Dad. Thanks for everything. I appreciate it. This is a great day.
Number 4. There was a family of racers from the South who laid claim to 113 NASCAR trophies. They are the Allisons.
Bobby Allison taught his brother Donnie how to drive, and Donnie knows every trick Bobby has up his sleeve.
And look at them. Donnie Allison, the red car, number 27. Bobby Allison in the gold car, number 22. Just as close as brothers could possibly be.
What a battle. Going out in front is Donnie Allison in car number 1. Here he is, one of the prize. Sweetown, Alabama. Donnie Allison has won Firecracker 400.
Not only did the Allisons win races, they won big races.
Here he is, coming to the stripe to win the Daytona 500, the leader of the Alabama gang, Bobby Allison.
Bobby claimed 3 Daytona 500s and ranks 4th on NASCAR's career wins list. In 1983, he earned the series title.
And Bobby Allison has clinched the Winston Cup Championship.
I brought along my son, Davey.
Davey won his own Daytona 500 and 18 other races.
Coming to the stripe, Davey Allison is going to win the Daytona 500. There it is, Davey Allison wins.
Davey Allison takes the checkered flag.
We won!
Did it, Daddy?
I got 2 great kids and a great wife over here, and it's just been a great day for us. I want to dedicate this race to my dad. We're just tickled to death to be here in Victory Lane. This is another one for the old man. There's a lot of my family here, but most importantly, my dad, because he's the one that made this all possible for me. He's the one that gave me the background, and I love him to death, him and my mom both.
The Allisons' legendary careers are also responsible for indelible memories that are shared with an entire NASCAR family.
Davey Allison coming after his father. Here he comes. He's going to do it. Bottom. He's down low. Bobby Allison high. Davey Allison trying the inside move. Bobby Allison holds him off. They come to the stripe. And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second. Judy Allison ecstatic. What a tremendous family performance.
Look at Bobby waving to Davey.
Well, you know, when I was a little kid, I always dreamed about racing with my dad and having a 1-2 finish, but I wanted him to be second.
Number 3. Earnhardt. The name about says it all. The hard-working pride of Kannapolis, North Carolina, were lions of the racetrack. Ralph Earnhardt started the bloodline of gritty, hard-fought drivers.
Now Earnhardt challenges Pearson and blasts into the lead.
Ralph's son Dale picked up where his father left off and then vaulted the last name into a first-rate NASCAR sensation, building a Hall of Fame career and establishing the style and swagger that competitors still chase today.
Dale Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps to lead it on the final lap.
Every man on every crew has come out to congratulate the man who has dominated everything there is to win in this sport.
Dale Sr. set the bar high for the future of the sport he loved, but that never intimidated his children from establishing their own passion for racing.
The legacy continues. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Daytona 500. Here they come, final lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr. using lessons learned from his father can score the victory.
I cannot believe it. This is better than the first one.
Dale Jr. co-owns a race team with sister Kelly, and after Kerry Earnhardt completed his driving career, his son Jeffrey became the 4th generation of the number 3 famous family on our list.
So it's a happy crew with the Petty name on their back.
Racing is quite often a family affair.
Welcome back to NASCAR The List. Let's recap the first 8 famous families.
What's your mother think about all this? Well, my mother's got gray hair. Buck Baker takes the bit between his teeth and starts a terrific run.
Childress, the best season of his career.
Come on, the Daytona 500. Come on, the Daytona 500. Bobby Labonte wins the race.
Dale Jarrett's got to win the Daytona 500. My dad, he's the one that made this all possible for me.
The man who has dominated everything in this sport.
Now that we've looked back at the lineages that line the list, let's look at our final 2. Number 2.
Petty Blue flies under the checkered flag, winner. So it's a happy crew along pit road with the Petty name on their back.
On the racetrack, no family outshines the Pettys. The family dynasty began with Lee, a stern driver who was serious about winning.
Lee Petty, driving car number 42, takes command of the race.
The 3-time champion ended his career as the all-time wins leader. No one was more fitting to take over his spot atop the wins list than his son, Richard.
Lee Petty makes his living building and driving race cars. Working with his son, Richard, father and son build their cars and build them well.
Richard Petty, the winner of the 6th annual Daytona 500.
Richard, how long have you been in this racing business?
About 5 years now.
This your biggest victory?
This is it. This is the first time I ever won on a major speedway.
Now, your father was a champion before you. How much longer are you going to be in this business?
Well, I guess from now on, just like he is.
Petty's won more races than any other driver in NASCAR history.
200 wins, 7 Daytona 500s, and 7 championships are the most dazzling accomplishments of the Hall of Famer's career. But Lee and Richard aren't the only Pettys in the Hall of Fame.
Richard Petty's chief mechanic, his brother, Morris Petty, figures they've been saving that car long enough.
The celebration continues for Richard Petty. His first cousin is standing by with Ned Jarrett.
We worked our careers off to get ready for this race, and a lot of families have sacrificed because we've worked night and day to get ready.
He was Richard Petty's cousin, and he was the king of stock car racing's crew chief.
Kyle Petty learned plenty from his cousin, uncle, grandfather, and father to earn 8 NASCAR victories, as well as introduce his son Adam to the brand of racing the Pettys had done so much to promote. Adam's entry into NASCAR marked the first 4-generation family in all of American sport. Number 1.
Tim, meet Bill France, president of NASCAR.
Mr. Bill
France, who is the president of NASCAR, the president of Daytona International Speedway. Bill, we have a wonderful day for the race.
It's wonderful to have the opportunity of bringing this race to so many people. We're looking for a great record here today.
At the racetrack, no name means more to NASCAR than the France family. It was the vision of one-time racer Big Bill France that set NASCAR in motion in the late 1940s.
And I'd be down on the beach 4 o'clock in the morning and start selling tickets.
Mom was the one that would do all the banking. She handled making sure that the teams all got paid, and she was basically the business manager of their operation.
I always had the feeling that we had the best racing in auto racing.
Leadership passed from Big Bill to Bill France Jr. in 1972. Bill Jr. had learned directly from his father what it would take to lead NASCAR into the national stage.
A little bit of everything. Tickets, flag races, you name it, scored races. Part of my growing up a little bit, you might say.
Betty Jane is the first lady of NASCAR.
She would tell him what other people wouldn't say. Most importantly, she was just his partner.
Bill Jr.'s brother Jim also thrived in the family business, overseeing the growth of International Speedway Corporation and improving facilities, racetracks, and competition as stock car racing emerged as the leading motorsport in America. The grandchildren of Big Bill, Brian and Lisa, carried NASCAR into the 21st century. Brian took over Bill Jr.'s place as NASCAR CEO in 2003. And Lisa took over for her Uncle Jim at ISC. Then watched her son Ben drive the France family bloodline into victory lane.
Ben Kennedy's going to see the checkered flag for the first time in his career.
There it is, the list of NASCAR's 10 most famous families. But no matter how you rank this list, the fact remains that blood is thicker than gasoline.